Hey guys, it's Coach Rick Storlie, and I'm back today to share some more tips on how to get in front of more qualified leads. Again, my name is Rick Storlie, and I help home builders and remodelers reach their sales goals. I've developed a 5-step sales system that generates a steady stream of new leads. It creates value through education, employs cutting-edge technology to identify the leads most likely to buy from you, and it's got my 20 plus years of sales and management experience built right in. So we're going to talk some more about lead generation strategies today. Now there's 8 different strategies to generate leads. And in previous videos I reviewed the 6 offline, which you see here right now. And now we're getting into the 2 online strategies. So today we're going to continue with online, specifically focusing on how to format your website for maximum lead generation. So let's take a look at some of the basic ideas of getting started here. Okay, first of all, we start with the content management system. Now this would be the software that your website would be hosted on. One of the issues that I see a lot of my builder clients have when they come to me is that they have a website that is built in a format that they can't update. And so enter WordPress. It's what's called an open source format. It's hosted by you. So this is an open source software that's free and it can be downloaded by anybody. There are thousands of available plugins which are very similar to like what an iPhone or Android phone would be with an app, and it's very easy to update and expand. And expand is very important when we get to the search engine optimization part of things. So let's take a look now, a closer look at your layout of your website, beginning with the top part, which is going to be your masthead, the very top of your website. First of all, I've highlighted over here the logo. You should always have your logo on your masthead. I like to do it in the top left side because as a society, at least in the English-speaking countries, we read from left to right. So we want to make sure they see your logo first. Now the marketing message is second. Your marketing message is going to be part of the whole value creation process, but it's basically your one-sentence elevator speech that answers the question, what do you do? Okay, so next is your phone number. Make sure it's on top of the site. I like to put it on the right-hand side so it's easy for people to find your number and give you a call. You've got to consider in your website about the size of the masthead, specifically the height. You don't want to make it too tall because what that does is pushes the content down to what we call below the fold. So if you think of a newspaper, when you look at the front page of a newspaper, you have what's called above the fold. If you have to flip the newspaper over, that's below the fold. The vast majority of people will look at the articles above the fold first, and they may not even look at below the fold. Your website's the same thing. If people have to scroll in order to see information, a lot of them will not do that. So we want to keep as much of the important information above the fold, and that means limiting the size of your masthead. Alright, so now we're going to move into the navigation bar. So this is how people will get around your site. And I'm going to start and show you kind of my theory or my philosophy as it relates to navigation. So what I have is on top here is a Homebuilder's masthead with navigation bar, and on the bottom would be a remodeler's. Alright, so to begin with, let's look at photos. Photos are going to be one of the most looked at sections of your website. Why? Because people are very interested in design, and they really can't visualize what they can do with their space, and so they want to see what you've done for other people that are just like them. So because that's such an important area, we want to keep that over to the left side. Again, because English-speaking companies read from left to right, your most important pages or the most visited pages should be on the left side of your navigation bar. Okay, so next we move into locations, or for a home builder service map. Now for a remodeler service map. If you are a home builder and you build scattered lot and maybe don't have neighborhoods, you would also create a service map on your locations page, just showing people the area of where you build. Design library is next for home builders, or remodeling services for home builders. This is where you're able to showcase your floor plans. It's where you're going to be able to show from a home builder standpoint, or excuse me, a remodeling standpoint, the different remodeling projects that you do. And typically my clients are going to have 5 or 6 different projects that they specialize in. Alright, so then we move to available homes and free resources. Available homes for home builders is what helps people identify pricing. So they're able to see examples of homes that maybe you could build, such as a to be built, or homes that you have for sale. And so they can self-qualify to see if you build in their price range. So even if you don't have models or specs, it's very important that you have at least 3, preferably more like 5, available homes for sale. And it's okay if you have a range of price. So if it's a home that could be built from 250 to 300, depending on options and home site. That allows people then to give them a reason to reach out to you via call to action. Remodeler's free resources, one of the things I like to put in there is information on common costs for your remodeling projects, and so I'll use Hanley Wood for that. Then we're going to go to the About Us section. Now, for you, this might be your most important section, but you got to remember, from your prospects, they're going to look at this last, if at all. People are interested about seeing what you can do from a design perspective, what locations you build in, and about how much your homes or remodeling services cost. They're not interested on the background of your company or how many awards you've won, or even so much testimonials, which we can talk about in a second here. So your About Us is something that's important to have, but it needs to be on the right hand side because it's not going to be looked at more frequently. What will happen is that the vast majority of your website visitors are going to come and go, but then you're going to have repeat or be back visitors, and those people that are giving you strong consideration will take a look at your About Us page. And then finally, last but not least, is contact. You want to have that on the right hand side, always a nice web form there where they can email you. Remember to keep any email addresses off of your website because that's how crawlers or spam bots will get you on a spam list. So everything needs to go through an email form. Now, one thing I want to mention again about testimonials. I do see some builders, they have a whole page of testimonials. It's very, very important to have testimonials on your website, but you don't want to put them on an individual page. The reason is because no one will look at them. So if you have testimonials, and you should, they should be sprinkled throughout your most visited pages. So I highly recommend installing Google Analytics on your website, and then at least once a month looking at your results. Google Analytics will tell you what pages are being visited most, and I can tell you right now that it's going to be your photos, your locations, your design library, and your available homes. And for remodeler, it's going to be your photos, remodeling services, service map, and perhaps free resources. So put testimonials on your site, just put them on the pages most visited and don't have them on their own page. Hey, that's it for today on laying out your navigation bar and masthead, and then next time when we come back we'll talk more about content. Thanks very much. Happy selling.